So we've got another video series for you here. This is going to be all about arm care and what you should be doing to protect your arm. And so I want to start by saying this. A lot of players, especially baseball players, softball players, you get a ball and you just start throwing and you haven't really warmed up your arm the right way. And so while you might be able to get away with this at a younger age without having injury, you're going to get to a point in time as you get older and where this is going to lead to serious injuries sometimes. And arm injuries, they're no joke. So if you have a bad arm injury, that could put you out for a whole season. So we're going to give you some good information on things you should be doing to properly get your arm ready.
All right, guys, Dr. Carmen here from Undefeated Physical Therapy and Performance. So we're going to get into our pre-throw warm-up for our arm to help increase velocity and prevent injury. The first thing that I recommend that you do is you really want to get your body hot. So a nice jog, maybe jumping jacks, 3 to 5 minutes where you're getting a total body, nice little low intensity sweat for the body. Then we're going to go on to the lower body. So the throwing motion is a full body routine. First thing you think about is step. So we're going to go to the ground. We're going to put you in an internal and external sit position for your hips. We're going to try to lean into the front hip. You want to spend about 10 to 15 seconds there. You're going to feel it all in the front of the hip. And then we're going to rotate over to the other side so you can kind of just open your hips up, go this way, and then you want to lean to the other side. Same thing, about 10 to 15 seconds. Do a couple on each side and just rotate back and forth to try to loosen up the hips. Once you feel like they're unlocked and loose, then we can go on to activating some power in them. So we'll start in that starting position, and we want to go from here and lift your butt up and drive forward. Same if you're throwing off that mound or throwing in the field. So it's just up, extend, back down nice and controlled, up and extend. All right, great. So now that we got our hips loose, now we'll go on to some upper body work. All right, so we got our lower body and our hips activated. Now we're gonna go on to the upper body. We're gonna do something what we call an SMR, self-myofascial release. You're gonna wanna try to get a massage ball, a lacrosse ball, or a baseball. And this can be done anywhere in the dugout. We're just gonna be trying to loosen up the back of the arm and get some blood flow there. So I'm gonna give Coach Justin this. He's gonna try to tuck this ball on the wall, somewhere in like up behind his armpit area, and he's going to roll around till he kind of finds a tender spot. So just roll around, Justin, try to find like some sore spot. Ooh, maybe around in there, and then just pin it there. So we don't want that ball to move. He's gonna put good pressure through his body, and then he's gonna grab up past his arm, and we're gonna try to get that muscle to contract and relax around that ball. What's that feel like?
Like this here, back and forth?
Yep, perfect.
Yeah, I can feel a spot right here. So pretty important to find a good hot spot right by the armpit. I
Absolutely.
Kind of feel that muscle right there. That's
And
a pretty important muscle there with the throwing.
Yes, the back of the shoulder, the teres muscle, the lat muscle, and you can pick a couple spots, Justin. You want to do like 10 to 20 in that area. So you can roll till you find it. Once you find it, hold it, and then move your arm.
What's for a thrower? What's good to know about this? Because we're constantly working our arm in a certain direction. This right here is essentially doing what?
Yeah. So when you throw, your arm's being pulled off your socket by 1 to 1.5 times your body weight. So if Coach Justin weighed 100 pounds, he's getting 150 pounds of force through his arm. So those muscles on the backside, they try to get really tight and stiff, and they kind of lock up your shoulder, and that reduces your ability to throw hard and your mobility for when you are pitching or throwing. So this just gets you loose, gets it ready to throw.
Awesome. Got another one for us?
Yes, great. We'll just move on to the forearm. We're going to do something very similar with the ball. We're just trying to activate that forearm with that SMR, self-myofascial release. So you want to pick somewhere in the dugout. We'll put Coach Justin here, and we're going to have him lay his forearm right on that ball. And the same thing, we're going to roll back and forth, and then he can kind of extend and flex his wrist. Try it out, Coach Justin.
Here like this, kind of rolling back and forth.
Yep. And then if you can find a hot spot, or you can find somewhere that you feel like there's a lot of tissue through there, and might not even feel tender, just might feel stiff. And then pin it there, hold it, and then you can even get the wrist activated, so flex and extend in the wrist. Awesome.
I think my common spot would usually be in the elbow here for throwers. I don't know if you see with throwers common area that it's really,
Absolutely. Of course, we think of Tommy John's in the inside of that elbow. That's where that UCL ligament is, that Tommy John's ligament. But those forearm muscles sometimes can kind of look like a Tommy John soreness or tenderness. So that kind of gets this ready to throw and gets that soreness out of there.
So am I right in saying, to recap, back and forth movements, finding a spot that's really tender, and starting to use the wrist activation up and down to help that out?
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Awesome. Guys, I think this is important stuff. So this is just very simple things you can even probably do at home just to start to get the arm recovering and start to get those muscles working properly again.
Okay, so now we got the back of the shoulder and forearm loose. We're gonna go on to a band series. So with this band series, it's different than a strengthening series. It's more of a speed that we wanna be nice and rhythmic, trying to get the shoulder and elbow loose. So it's not something you wanna try to go nice and slow and control and get that muscle burn. It's a nice rhythmic speed where you're getting the blood flow to that muscle, getting it ready to throw. So we're gonna have Coach Justin start. We'll put that in his right arm. Great, we're gonna tuck other hand underneath. This way it keeps that arm to that body. If you lift and get a space, you'll not be in a good position. So we wanna start down at your belly, and then we just wanna aim up to here, and then we're going nice rhythmic speed, nice and almost like a quicker 10 to 15, just getting blood flow. And then he's gonna flip after he gets about 10 to 15.
This pace be good here?
That's perfect. Great, we'll flip you over on the other side, and then we're gonna do internal rotation. So he's doing the opposite of that there.
Same hand?
Same hand under, nice and tight.
How's that pace there? Is that all right?
That's a good pace. It should be like just blood flow, a pump, versus like that fatigue we get in the weight room.
Keeping this elbow in tight to the hand, right?
Yep, that's really gonna put that shoulder and scapula in a nice position. Perfect, and then we're gonna have him flip at 90 degrees. We're gonna do the same thing, except we're gonna have him bring this arm up. He's gonna keep it locked here, and then he's just trying to rotate hand up to the backwards. So doing about the same thing, 10 to 15 of that. Speed is perfect, he's got it down nice and quick. And then once he gets 10 to 15 there, or whenever he feels like his arm's loose, we'll just flip the other way, and we're gonna do the opposite in that throwing position.
What do you see with common problems with the elbow as far as the height? Do guys tend to lower it, or what do you see?
That's a compensation mechanism. If you drop that elbow, it's just like you take the work out of the shoulder and you just get all the accessory muscles. So having it up nice and high, that turns this muscle on in the back, which is gonna help stabilize. Good question.
Yep, feel that there.
Great, we'll just flip you around. We'll go to the other side, we'll do internal rotation. So same thing, we want that arm nice and high like Justin has it, and then we're just rotating inward, and same thing, like a nice, quick, just getting it loose.
How's the elbow look there?
Good, nice, good height. Looking for that flat 90 degrees like he has there.
Well then, I'm assuming with my lower half have a stable base, or anything I should do with the lower half?
Lower half looks good. You can always get into that throwing position. I like left in front of right if you're a right-handed thrower.
Okay.
So then you're in that throwing position and it's mimicking game position. Good question.
Would this be enough as far as going down far enough?
That's all you need, as long as that shoulder stays at that height. And then we'll turn you, and we're just gonna put arms straight out. So this is, again, working back of the shoulder. We'll turn you a little more towards me. And then we're gonna put this arm here, we'll lock the wrist, and then you're just trying to come across your body. So it's gonna be, nice rhythmic speed, about 10 to 20 of those, enough that you're getting blood flow, but you're not getting tired. That looks great.
Anything with posture with my shoulders I should be aware of, with just how to, rounded, what kind of posture am I looking for?
Just like you had, you automatically go for a good posture. You're exactly right. Nice upright position, shoulder blades kind of drawn backward. Want to avoid that forward bend, just like Coach Justin's talking about.
Is that, from what I see, you probably see it more than I do, common tendencies with the bad posture in the shoulders. Is that something you see as well?
Absolutely. Like we talked about in previous videos, those muscles on the front side get really strong, so they kind of pull you in that position. Those muscles on the back side get stretched out. That's why we're trying to wake them up here. And then another one for the shoulder, we'll just flip you that way. We'll put you in that throwing position. We're gonna start kind of down in your pocket, and you're kind of coming up and across. And your elbow's trying to stay fairly straight. Yep, and we're just trying to pump this back of the shoulder with blood flow. He's doing about 10 to 15 there again. It's kind of counteracting that arm, getting it ready to throw. Wake those muscles up that help stabilize.
A little faster with my pace here, or is this, what kind of
Look pretty good, look pretty good. And then we could always back up. We're not gonna back him up now because the camera's here, but we can always back him up so that band is nice and stiff. Great, cool. We're gonna go on to forearm exercises. I'll just show these ones, Justin, it just makes it quicker. So we want elbow bent. We want you nice 90 degrees. We're just trying to work the wrist coming across. Same thing, rhythmic speed, about 10 to 20, so we can warm up those flexors in the arm. And then we'll flip you to the other side, and we'll get the extensors 10 to 20 here, just warm it up nice and quick. And then we're gonna keep the elbow tight, palm down, and we're gonna do supination, so you're rotating your hand upward, and that activates some of those inner and outer muscles that help stabilize the elbow. And then we're gonna do the opposite. So we'll go this way, coming downward, and don't let that band kind of snap you back, just nice and controlled. And then last one here, going this way. Awesome, great, try them out.
All right guys, so this is the final video on how to get your body warmed up the right way. And I want you to be very aware of that too. This is a good pre-throwing routine to get everything warmed up. It's different from a strengthening program.
Okay, great. So we're gonna go through, it's really just one exercise, but you're gonna base it individualized off your position. If you're playing multiple positions, you can try it in multiple ways. But we wanna put everything together, just like Coach Justin said. We wanna get our fast twitch muscles ready to throw. It's all about power. You don't ever see someone trying to throw nice and easy. We're trying to drive and be explosive. So this is what that's gonna activate those muscles. First thing, we'll start with pitchers. So if you're a pitcher, you can start with a med ball. Everything we want to be coming through our core and our legs. So it starts from the ground up. It's gonna finish with our arms. So we're gonna keep everything nice and stiff in our stomach. We're gonna take a med ball, something moderately light. It's just about getting 2 or 3 reps to get explosive, just to get it awake. So we're gonna get you in that pitching position. If you're coming from the windup, we'll start you here. We're gonna have you do your rotation, whatever normal way you do it, come up and you're gonna put this full speed, and then when you come down, everything's going to explode. You wanna drive from the lower body and then it kind of transition all the way up in your arms. You can do the same thing from the stretch too. So if you're starting from the stretch, but I want you using both arms. Don't throw this single arm. Same thing from the stretch, you pause, step, drive, explode, do your routine, do your same mechanics that you would do if you were throwing, but we're gonna use both arms. We can transition into infielders. So infielders, you can do it like you're taking a ground ball. Coming up, coming through, throwing, driving into the ground. Really make sure you follow through, keep that core tight, really explode it in the ground. Just like I said before, about 2 to 3 reps. Another way an infielder can do it, we can take glove side cuts. So maybe you're getting a cut from the outfield. So ball's coming in, step, explode, drive. Same power that we brought before on the other ones. And then last ones are outfielders. So we can take it as a fly ball. So maybe just a small toss to you, come up, drive, explode. Same thing, core tight, legs driving. You're driving off that back foot forward. We're just trying to get it active. And then we can also take it as maybe like a curl hop, kind of coming from the side, coming up, driving and explode.
Carmen, I got a question for you. So, you know, those are the variations of how I get into my position. But now once I get my feet planted and it's time to go, what should I be feeling? What kind of muscles should I be activating? Should it be all arms? Should it be something else? What am I trying to feel here?
So throwing's from the ground up. So we want to keep the ball in tight, but you're going to be really trying to drive from your core, drive from your legs. The arms are just kind of finishing it. So same thing like you would throw if you're taking one from the pitching position, you'd come up, wind up. Your legs are driving it, the arms are just finishing the drive, but everything's staying stiff. We don't want this ball far away from you. That's not gonna have your core active. We want everything in tight, driving from here.
So from here, as I'm pulling back, I'm really pulling through and feeling the core, right? I'm feeling the hips rotate. I'm feeling like my whole body is now throwing the ball forward as opposed to just arms, right? And I think from what I see, that's the main issue with us as throwers, especially young throwers. We are trying to make the throwing arm do 90% of the work or more, when where this ball can help, and especially doing it with 2 hands, is now you're learning how to activate the core, the rotation, the lower half, pretty much everything except for the throwing arm. Am I right in saying that?
You're exactly right. Ground up is driving it. That's your driver. Your legs are driving it. Your hips are driving it. Your core is driving it. The arm's just finishing. It's just an extension of those pieces from the bottom.
Excellent. And even I'll just wrap it up with this, as throwers, you know, we want to feel like your shoulders are replacing each other. So these shoulders are in line here, and the back shoulder is essentially replacing the front shoulder. Front shoulder rotates around to where the back shoulder was, and that's where you get that full rotation, get the core and lower half involved. So guys, that's all the exercises. And look, you should be spending 10 minutes before you even touch a ball working on these exercises when you have the time. And if you get to the field late and you don't have you don't have 10 full minutes, even 5 minutes is still better than nothing, just to activate the right muscles and to get your body warmed up the right way. But I challenge everybody to just commit to that short amount of time and make this more of a routine.
Follow us for more videos and exercises about increasing your velocity and protecting your arm from injury. If you want a customized program for your specific arm and your needs, reach out to us here at Undefeated Physical Therapy and Performance. Thanks.